Hello! This video has very mild spoilers for Archer. If you don't want any spoilers, this is your warning. I'd like to address a very specific group of people. If you're like me, a big Archer fan that stopped watching during the coma arc, then this video is for you. This year, I decided that the show deserved a second chance, so I got to watching. I sat down and decided I will push through to the best of my ability, or I will stop following the series, and I'm begging you. Either push through the coma arc or skip it altogether, because as a longtime fan, the seasons after are home to some of the show's best and most rewarding moments. This video isn't meant to be a deep dive into Archer's universe, lore, or an in-depth analysis and review of the series as a whole, but I feel some context is needed, so let's start at the beginning. I gave the show a chance when there was about 5 or 6 seasons out, and at this point it was too long ago to remember. I happily binged through all of it and quickly fell in love with the slapstick humor, the raunchiness, and the running jokes. It was so much fun to travel the world with the team and get into trouble all around the globe, blowing job after job while watching Archer incompetently stumble his way to everything working out for him over and over. He's the world's greatest spy after all, but by sheer luck, to the point where you'd think he's immortal, and the show eventually riffs on this. As the seasons progress, their operation downscales. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I have a theory. My theory is that their agency, ISIS, shared its name with a real-world organization, you know the one, that was gaining infamy at the time, and they didn't want to be associated with that. Whatever the reason may be, I could feel the scope of Archer and company's escapades shrinking with each season. They worked with the CIA, still got into global shenanigans. They became the world's worst cartel in Archer Vice, which had them a bit more restricted in travel to eventually leading up to season 7, where they were just a private investigation firm. This season had less grand, expensive, and explosive adventures as they were based in one area. Despite this, my love for the show never waned. Even if I missed the global scale mischief, it was still Archer and the crew, and it was still them somehow triumphing in the most ridiculous and lucky ways as they bumble and fail every small and simple task in front of them. Then the coma hit. As Season 8 opens, we revisit the end of Season 7's events. Archer, face down in a pool, 2 bullet wounds, eyes open. As the intro montage winds down and we see Archer in a hospital bed, the cast talking about if he wakes up, I'm expecting him to open his eyes and let out some zinger, slap around Cyril a bit, and into Season 8 we go. But this doesn't happen. Instead, we are transported into his coma dreams where we will reside for 3 seasons. This coma arc is where I and so many other fans fell off. Check out this graph. While Season 4 may have been the height of Archer's popularity, the biggest dip, relatively speaking, was from Season 7 to Season 8. It was about 50% of viewership, and it's a dip we haven't recovered from. I was excited for what Dreamland would hold for us and figured it would be a short segment of the first episode. But as I soon realized, this wasn't going to be just a quick gag in one episode, and I found myself very quickly growing bored as the season progressed. As a fan that has grown very attached to these characters, I felt I was in a state of denial. I was putting up with mediocrity waiting for the dopamine drip. These 3 seasons weren't terrible, just not the show I loved. And before Danger Island was finished, I was gone. But you have eyes. You read the title. You clicked the video. I came back. I'll give credit where it's due. These seasons, especially Archer 1999, had some hidden gems in there, however far and few between. I can also say that there were some interesting moments and creative decisions in the coma arc that made me personally feel like pushing through them wasn't a waste of time. Archer crippling Barry in Dreamland is a nice callback and keeps the characters as we know them from earlier seasons. Krieger being a parrot, Scarlet Macaw in Danger Island led to one of my favorite moments in the coma arc. And Archer 1999 was my favorite of the 3 seasons because it was reminiscent of the more anything goes, large-scale tomfoolery of early Archer. Mallory in this season is basically a ghost shell from Destiny, and I just really love seeing her being a badass and in more of the action. And here we are, Season 11. This is where Adam Reed has stepped away from Archer as a writer and things are very different. The staff have taken one of my favorite IPs and done to it things we as Archer fans have never experienced before and never could have expected. True, meaningful, deep character arcs and growth. 3 years have passed and Archer's awake. I expect him to jump out of bed and get into some crazy spy stuff right off the bat. Maybe an assassination attempt, a fight scene in the hospital room, breaking through the window, doing a flip, and in true Archer fashion, using his plot armor to win or get away. But this couldn't be further from the truth. He is atrophied, he is weak, and he is broken. In his absence, the agency is doing the best it's ever done. Cyril is ripped and is a top field agent. There are regular and scheduled briefings and debriefings that are on time. And Cheryl has her shit together. I mean Cheryl. Wow. Everybody is better off without Archer around, and you'd expect him to be completely ignorant of this fact, but under the new writing staff, he actually realizes this, and when confronted with it, he does not handle it very well. Well, that and the fact that he now needs a cane. Oh man, I talked way longer and much more in depth than I expected to. I don't want to go into too much detail about post-coma Archer because, as the title states, I want you, ex-Archer fans, to give the show another chance and experience it for yourself. Whether that means skipping the coma arc entirely or pushing through, I don't think you'll be let down. If you need a slight nudge, I'll mention it doesn't take Cheryl long to get back to, in her own words, old way better Cheryl. And Pam has a significant other and it's serious. So, how do you feel about Archer? Did you stick with it the whole time? If you fell off, when? Did any of you love the coma arc or fall off after it and not because of it? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to talk about it. Subscribe for more content and rest in peace to Jessica Walter.